Next up is...
My boy, in order to escape to America, to take the name of Hedwig, you must leave behind a little part of oneself, of yourself. And I think I know just the doctor to take it. Don't move! Who is this Hedwig? And why have we never heard about it before, Bob? Well, is this thing on? That is the question I've been asking myself for years, minus the bulb. How did some slip of a girly boy from communist East Berlin become the internationally ignored song stylist barely standing before you? Well, my dearest audiences, that is what I'm here to talk about tonight. I'm not here to talk about calamity or scandal. I'm certainly not going to be talking about my relationship with a certain well-known rock icon, Tommy Gnosis, even though at this very moment he is most likely talking about me. By some freak coincidence, he's previewing his tour of a tournament tonight at Giant Stadium, right across the river. I wrote every song on that album! And by the way, the tabloid got it right. He was driving. He was on blow. He was getting blown by yours truly. And he did hit that bus full of deaf children. One of them survived, now blind. I taught him everything he knows and has apparently forgotten about rock and roll. And he barely mentions my name with that giant sucking sound Larry King calls a show, which I'm sure that all of you had seen, because if you hadn't, I'd be singing my entire show to a desk clerk. And if I was lucky, my agent, Phyllis Stein. Did you make it this time, Phyllis? I'm sorry, I'm wide open tonight. You see, the road is my home. My home, the road. And when I think of all the people I have come upon during my travels, I have to think of all the people that have come upon me. The geography of human contact. The triangulation of a pair of eyes on my face. The latitude and longitude of a pair of hands on my body. These are the only clues I have to who I am. Who is this mystery woman? I laugh because I will cry if I don't. Recently, I found my first diary, age 2 through 6, and I realized that so many people have touched me on my way to this stage tonight. How can I say who touched me the most? My father, the American GI, who left when I was barely old enough to say my first words. Or could it have been my East German mother? No. When she touched me, it was usually by accident. It is clear that I must find my other half. But is it a he or a she? Was it Daddy? Or he went away? Mother? What does my other half look like? Identical to me? Or somehow complementary? Does my partner have what I don't? The looks, the lack, the love. Were we really separated forcibly? Or did he just run off with the good stuff? Or did I? Or without me, he never would have run into that oncoming short bus. I was on 14th Street when the limo pulled up. I stepped into it, naturally mistaking it for my own, as you know. And in there sat Tommy Gnosis. It had been years. So we drove up and down the island doing drugs and catching up. And I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. Well, you know the rest. He spoke to me of the disappointing sales of his second album, the one he wrote without me, of course, and of his loneliness. I reminded him of happier days. Well, when the story broke out, as you can imagine, Tommy's people offered me a small fortune to keep my mouth shut. As if I'd accept their filthy lucre. As if I'd make my own living off someone else's misery. As if I hadn't just been selling my recent fragrance, Hedwig. Atrocity by Hedwig. It's a fragrance for a man, a woman, or a freak. I digress. So, you want to know about Tommy Gnosis? Well?
Yes.
Yes? Do you want to know about Tommy Gnosis? You're a terrible crowd. Do you want to know about Tommy Gnosis? Come on,
Yes.
bring up, I want to hear. Do you want to know about Tommy Gnosis?
Yes.
Yes.
Jesus. Is this the North Shore? Well, after my recent American divorce, I went around doing odd jobs and babysitting gigs. And I found myself babysitting for a General Speck. He was a commander at a nearby fort. And he had a son. We're talking about Tommy Speck at this time. An artist formerly known as my butt boy. He was a 17-year-old, Dungeons and Dragons obsessed, rock lover, Jesus freak with a fish on the bloody truck. I found him so hot. I would look into his eyes, and he would look into mine. And I would know that we were in love. At the time, Tommy's music only had the reach of the occasional guitar mass. So I began an intensive 6-month curriculum of rock history, grooming, and music. We began getting more gigs. Teenage girls started flocking in. We collaborated. Music flowed out of us, and at his graduation, my present for him was his name. Tommy Gnosis, the Greek word for knowledge. With all this money coming in, I was able to dedicate myself completely to a career. We were very happy. Until we tried to put ourselves back together again. Due to my operation, what I had was all we had to work with. But what I had was clearly not enough. You'd never be able to kiss me and look me in the eyes. You'd never be able to kiss me. Look me in the eyes. What's wrong, honey? I would say to him. He'd go, I love you, I love you, I love you. That's what he would say to me. The love's the front of me! The front of me. Tommy, can you hear me? From this milkless tit, you suck the very business we call show! How the front of me, Tommy. Who is this Hedwig? She's me. But who am I?